to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments, because the more people subscribe, the more this content gets pushed out to more viewers. They can join this growing community, post their tips and tricks, or they can post requests, which I'll personally review and I'll share with everyone. I like to thank everybody subscribed. I know this is just the second day of this month, but keep it up. Thank you, and on to the show. So the intro says better than Docker, and I'll prove that to you as well. I had a podcast where I did explain the differences between Podman and Docker. So this will be, I guess, a continuation of that, and you guys will be able to see in real time. Okay, so your digital life is currently leaking through every commercial cloud provider. Private data sits on servers you do not actually own or control. So what I'm going to do then is obviously you can set up your own secure private server network. And for example, traditional container tools often require root access, that's basically Docker, which creates massive vulnerabilities. Podman Desktop solves this by running entirely in a rootless environment. As you guys know, I have my tutorials, especially in the previous year, I was running it on the command line, and I listened to you guys. You guys are like, oh, that's too hard, there's too much, you know, you have to know too much, you have to be like a genius. You don't. With Podman Desktop makes things really easy. Now, Podman Desktop is a little bit heavy, but it makes things really, really easy, especially if there are issues, you can fix them right there. You don't even need to go, you don't have to hire an expert you can resolve them very easily yourself, as long as you keep in mind that it's rootless. That's all you have to remember, and you'll be fine. And I'll explain that also when you're doing the tutorial. So you can deploy professional grade tools without spending a single dollar. This setup creates a fortress for your most sensitive personal information. So basically what I'm trying to say is that I'm going to show you how you can set up 3 applications that I actually did previously. I think I did all of them on the command line using Podman, Podman Compose, but here we're not gonna touch the command line, don't worry. I'll show you how to set all of them up. Not just one, not just 2, but 3 of them at the same time, and that's going to be the home lab in Podman Desktop. So setting up Vault Warden provides a private vault for every single password. It eliminates the risk of massive third-party database security breaches. So you can set up Vault Warden, which was actually one of my first app reviews when I was doing Podman. I mean, something I was in personal, and that was actually pretty well. So here it is again. Next, Paperless-ngx transforms your physical static of mail into searchable digital assets. So this automation engine handles your document tagging while you're sleeping. An integrated ad blocker, that's going to be AdGuard, a home, stops trackers before they even reach your devices. This saves bandwidth and clears your entire web browsing experience. So Podman Desktop, as I mentioned before, provides a clean visual interface for managing these services. You get enterprise power without needing to memorize complex terminal commands. Now, just to be clear, Podman Desktop is not just for Podman. It actually works with Docker. You know, the funny thing is, I think it was on my laptop when I actually installed, I think it was Podman Desktop, it actually installed Docker. And you guys saw it when I did I was testing I think the RDP application, I think it was Remina or something, onto the laptop. I installed it, I installed Podman Desktop, and actually pulled in Docker, and I was so confused. I'm like, Fedora? Putting in Docker for Podman Desktop? My mind was blown. But I'm saying that it does work with Docker. Obviously, I prefer Podman. I'll explain to you why. So the pod architecture allows these separate tools to communicate safely together. You can group related containers to manage them as a single unit. So for example, as I said before, Vault Warden is going to be the one for secure passwords. The skill level you need for it is a beginner. I've done a tutorial on this. You can search for it. You can simply go to jambo.com and search Vault Warden. And then Paperless-ngx, same thing. You can just search here and pull it up. And then obviously AdGuard as well, that's the network privacy. I did that tutorial now. Sorry, Paperless-ngx, a little bit intermediate, but I'm saying I walk you through all of that, running all of them. So if you're a beginner, I made them all beginner friendly. So including obviously this tutorial. So this one's going to be obviously even easier to set up than when I did them there. So what I mean by that is you go to jambo.com and you search for a Vault Warden. Let's spell it right, Vault Warden. Of course I did spell it. Yeah, there we go. See, self-host Vault Warden. So that's Vault Warden here. You see I put a lot of put all the commands I used and a bunch of screenshots here so you can follow. Very easy to follow. The other one was Paperless-ngx, I believe I did do that one. Where is it? Okay, maybe was it -ngx? Yeah, there we go. You see, Paperless-ngx. So I did that one as well. You can go and take a look at it. And again, you see I cloned it, I created an environmental file, I showed you how to set up. Obviously I said I did use a command line back then, but we're going to set up using the Podman Desktop. So you can follow along. I'm saying those are all very beginner friendly files, but the only thing is if you go through them and you don't want to do the command line stuff, just pay attention to this tutorial. And the last one was AdGuard. I believe I did do AdGuard, I'm not sure. Yes, I did. Did a private ad blocker, Fedora codelets, and I showed you how to do that. I believe I also put this on the Raspberry Pi Zero. Yeah, I also put this on the Raspberry Pi Zero as well. So there we go. Of course, if you do remember, I believe in this tutorial I did it twice. I did one in Podman Desktop and I did one as an IoT device on the Raspberry Pi Zero W. So to show you, yeah. So I believe, yeah, I believe I did do it there as well. Yeah. So there you go. I was able to get it up. Oh no, this is when I installed. Oh yeah, I remember this. Okay, yeah. So this is when I fixed the problem with a silly little problem with trying to install Raspberry, and I did resolve that. So there you go. So I've done this before. Now I'm going to segue into a couple of websites. Idylum.store. Right now I have a couple of resources. One is my novelette, it's the Algorithmic Serpent. So if you like psychological thrillers, you can pick it up. It's mostly at cost. I'll talk about that later after this tutorial. And it's very affordable. I said just at cost for printing, shipping, and storage. And then the latest, greatest one I have is the Recession Business Blueprint. It's a guide to help you start a business during a recession. This is a full book, and I'll show you how you can contact me if you have any issues or you have any concerns as well. So if you've ever thought of starting a business, the best time to start a business is during a recession. We're in a recession right now. That's the best time to start a business. All right, now back to the show. So what you do need is you do need to have Podman obviously on your system. So Podman is, I'm using Podman, but so let's take a look at the URLs very quickly as well. Since I'm here, let's go here, for example, vaultwarden.net. You can go read up. I said that I have a dedicated tutorial on it. This is a community-driven password manager, so you can get it from there. It also has a GitHub page as well. It's by Danny Garcia, Danny-Garcia. So I'm going to just zoom through this very quickly. See Danny-Garcia Vault Warden. You can also follow the instructions here. Next is the Paperless-ngx. So the reason I'm going this very quickly is because I said I've done dedicated tutorial on all of this. The Paperless-ngx. It's a community supported open source. All this stuff is open source, by the way. Community driven open source document management system that transforms your physical documents into searchable online archive. You can keep less paper. Okay, and then obviously they also have a GitHub page, which is very simple. It's Paperless-ngx. So that's their Docker page. You see everything is open source. Finally, we have AdGuard. So this is AdGuard. It's adguard.com, and this one is they do have the home version. That's more than enough that you need. And this is the GitHub page. It says AdGuard team /AdGuard home. AdGuard home. So this is the one as well. You can see it's also fully open source as well under the GNU public license version 3. All right, so I just want to show you guys that. All right, now let's get started. So the first thing you need to do is obviously install oh yeah, I forgot Podman as well. So Podman Desktop, I think it's podmandesktop.io. Yeah, I've been here a few times. Podman-desktop.io. This is it here. It's cross-platform. Obviously, you can see here Linux, Mac OS, Windows, and what is this one here? Download for other. I'm guessing other. Oh, there's more up. Okay, there must be others. I'm not sure the others. I guess you can compile it yourself. But there you go. See, it's cross-platform. Okay, so right. So I installed Podman Desktop from the repositories. There's also one for Flatpak. I'm using Fedora Linux, by the way. So this is the Social Ninja stream. I don't know why it loves going to the going to the wrong screen, but okay, whatever. All right, so I'm just gonna start Podman Desktop. So I don't want to waste too much of you guys' time. So here we go, Podman Desktop. I'm just gonna make sure the time is okay. Open up on the wrong screen. Right here. Okay, I'm trying to zoom in here. Okay, that's good enough. You guys should be able to see this. Looks like you can. All right. So, oh yeah. Before I do that, I need to make sure that let me go to the file manager here. I need to go to the tutorials. Did I make a folder for, what did I call this, home lab or something? Let me see if I have a home lab folder here. Okay, I do not. Oh yeah, I do have a home lab folder. Okay, so here we go. I do have a home lab folder. Okay, so I recommend you set up some subfolders where you can store your data. So I'll explain what I mean by that. So I'm gonna use the console, although I promised I would not use the console. The reason is I prefer doing this so I can go much faster, but you can obviously do it any way you want. So I'm gonna clean this up. Oops. Clear that. Okay, so I've already made the folder called home-lab. Then here I'm just gonna create a a couple of subfolders inside it, and I'll explain you what I just did. So I don't need this anymore. Basically, all I did was I created AdGuard. You see, under AdGuard, I created a subfolder conf and one called work. Okay, and then for Paperless, I just created 2 subfolders for data and media. Okay, and then for Vault Warden, it's just Vault Warden by itself. So that's why I created those folders. I said, you see how it was much faster for me to create on the command line. So right clicking here, create folder. That's why I said I want to go a little bit faster. So just make sure you create that. Now let's go to Podman Desktop. We go to images. Yeah, we'll go to images, and we're going to pull a few images. So the first image we're going to pull the Vault Warden. We're going to pull it from, so you can just type Vault Warden. If you don't know, just click pull, and here just type Vault Warden. So the one we want is the first one, docker.io Vault Warden /server. That's the one we want, and just click pull image. It won't take too long to pull this one up. Okay, you see, it's done, just like that. Okay, and so we can actually, you know what? I'm actually going to start this. So what I'll do is this is the Vault Warden. I'll click the start run image here, and it's going to create a container for us. So the name I'm going to give it is, I'm going to call it Vault Warden -server. The container name. Okay, the volumes, I need to map it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click this, but remember we need to map it to this Vault Warden here. So I'll click this whatever we call it, the folder icon, and then I'm going to navigate to here, tutorial, and where's the home lab? Where's home lab? There's a lot of glare again, even though it's cold. So today is going to be the coldest day and then it's going to kind of warm up a little bit, another little spring tease, and then I think around mid month it's gonna get cold for 2 days. Then after that, I think the temperature will be above zero, and I'm eager to go outside and actually finish up some of my projects from fall. Because remember, it's been unrelentless since like October 12th, snow and cold. Yeah, so I'm just it's been a very long cold season. So I need to finish up, and obviously I need to replace the chickens and make sure my fruit trees actually survived this year, because last year there was a home lab. Okay, last year there was a drought here. Okay, so here we go, the volume, and we're going to map it to just /data. Oh, not date, /data inside the container. And then for pod mapping, it says 9,000. So basically, it maps port 80 to 9,000. That's the default. I'm okay with that because I'm not using port 9,000. Okay, so I'm going to hit start container. So then it's going to create a container for us. You see how quickly it's done. It's already running. Kudos. Let's go back to images. Next, we're going to pull in a paperless. We need to pull in an image from Paperless-ngx. So just type Paperless-ngx. And you can see here we have a whole bunch of them. The one we want is the official one. That's usually Linux server. So look for Linux server here. We want, this one here. This is the official one. That's the one we want. And click pull image. Meaning that's the official one. I'm not saying the other ones are bad. I'm just saying that if we want the one from the official, paperless ngx. So that's the one there. Now this one I think is probably this is probably the biggest image. I think it might actually be half a gig or maybe even a gig here. So I guess it's going to take a little longer. Remember, I'm also doing a live stream as well. So what is it? YouTube, BitChute, Odyssey, Rumble, Kick, and Twitch. So that's 6. I'm live streaming 6 of them at the same time. I'm also testing. If you guys notice, I didn't mention that temp email service. I think I might put that one down and repurpose that domain. Okay, so this is done. Let's see how big it was. Oh, yeah, I was right. See, it's 1.26 gigs. So that's what I said. That's why it took a little bit longer. So I'm gonna click the start button here as well for this one. Now this one is actually no, this one is not the most involved. The AdGuard one is the most involved. So this one again, I'm gonna give it a name. This one I'll just call it Paperless-ngx. Okay. And then for the port mapping, you see it's going to use 8,000. I'm not using 8,000, so I'm going to leave at 8,000. That's perfectly fine by me. Now, we need to add, remember those 2 volumes we created? We need to add those 2 volumes. So click this button here, and we're not in Vault Warden. So you see the Vault Warden has already filled out stuff. Remember, I just created that. So what we need is paperless. So I'm going to pick the data first. Select the data, and then I'm going to map it to /opt/opt/ oh no, that's the wrong one, /user. Actually, I should probably copy this instead of, because I don't want to make a mistake. So I'm just going to copy this. Okay, I hope this time Z works properly. Yeah, /user/source/paperless/data. Click the plus button because we need to do another one, and then this one is going to be the media one. So pick the media folder, and I'm pretty sure you guys know which one is going to be mapped to. So here, instead of slash the data, it's going to be slash user slash source slash paperless slash media. Okay, now the port number is perfectly fine, so we just click start container. So this one should also start without any issues. Yes, it's already started, I can tell here. Okay, now one more image for our home lab, which is the art guard. Oh, by the way, if you like, you can already see somebody from what's the name, stream has already not stream from Kick has already put some spam messages here. But if you do join the live chat, your comment will appear right here. Okay, so we need to put one more image. This one is going to be art guard. Obviously, we're looking for art guard home. Now be very careful. There's art guard and then there's art guard home. We want art guard home. We don't want the other one. The other one is will probably be a little bit more involved. We don't want that one. So we want just the art guard home, the open source version. So go here, just type art guard. You see when you type art guard, there's a whole bunch of them. There's a whole bunch of stuff that comes up here. You see there's Android, there's Go Builder, blah 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 stuff. So the one you want is just this one, the docker.io/artguard/artguard home. That's exactly the one we want. So then you click pull. Okay, now this one should be pretty, yeah, see it's done very quickly. It's the fastest. We can check out its file size. With this one here, you see it's only 700 and basically 78.6 megabytes. So it's pretty small. Okay, so we start that one as well. Now, even though this is the smallest, it's a little bit more involved, as you can already, I'm sure you guys can already tell. So I'm going to give it a name. I'm just going to art guard home-home for the container name. Now, for the volumes, if you remember, we have two volumes, work and conf. So go here and we don't put the paperless. We have art guard. So the first one we're going to do is work. I'm going to copy this so I do not make some mistakes. So that's going to be mapped. This is obviously the host, and this one here where I click the folder, that's the host, and it's mapped to inside the container, which is /opt/artguardhome/work. Click the plus button to add another one. I click the and the folder icon, and this time obviously it's the conf folder. Okay, and then it's the same thing. We just map it to the one inside the container, which is /opt/artguardhome/conf. Okay, we're not done yet. Now you see the port maps here. Podman Desktop mapped this stuff for us, but if you actually click start container, you're going to have issues. I ran into this myself when I was writing the article, and boy did it drive me crazy. So I'll explain to you why it drove me crazy. Now if you see here, the reason it drove me crazy is because, I need to explain a few things to you guys first. So we're using Podman. Remember, I'm using Podman here. It runs as rootless by default. I mean, you can make it run as root, but by default it runs as rootless, meaning that a regular user can use it. So meaning that if you're a system admin, you can set up, and the regular users can go and set up, or whatever stuff they want to set up for them, and you don't want to break the system. So the problem with Docker is Docker does need some root permissions to run. So that could be a security risk, but Podman doesn't do that. So when you're running some applications, you need to elevate the ports, meaning the user is the ID is 1000, or the permission level is 1000, meaning that anything about 1000 they're allowed to have. Anything below that, especially when you're running containers, they're not allowed to have. Obviously root can do whatever they want, but I'm just saying a regular user. So that's why, for example, you see what Podman Desktop here is. So if I took this port, for example, this one port 53, I would not be able by default the container will not be able to the host will not will not be able to access that port number, because it's below 1000. Anything above 1000 you can access. So now if you see some of these port numbers, your brain will be, wait a minute. For example, one thing I noticed here is, you see this is port 53, it uses 901, 901. 443, it also puts at 901. So Podman Desktop did not perfect, they made some mistakes, and that's why I said don't simply just click the start, because you're going to have errors. Now, because I know this port stuff, so what I did was, I left the first two up here, which is 3000, 3000, because I like they're 3000, 3000, I left those alone. This one here, which says 443 and 443, what I decided to do, I changed that one. I'll make it 8443 because I don't use that on my system, and then this one here I'll make it 8443. You can pick whatever port number you want as long as it's above 1000. Okay, then for 53 here, because I wanted to make sure it's a port number I can remember, so I just chose 5553, and here as well, so 5553, and then down here you see it says 5443, 5443, 543. I left that alone. This is 6000, or 60, 60, 60, 60. I left that alone. And then for the last one, down here we go down. You see port, what is it? Port 67. Port 67. I didn't like that one, so I'm going to change this one. I'll put 60, 67. I just want a port number that I can understand. And then this one 68. I do the same thing. I just put 60, 68, and then this one's here 80. I don't think I'm using port 8080, so I can leave it as 901 if I wish, because I know that one is not being used. So I'm going to leave that one as whatever. I can change it to 8080. I think I probably should change it to 8080, but I'm going to leave that as 9000 because I'm not using 9001 anywhere. Yeah, so I'll leave that as 9001. Then the last ones, I'll just put 88, 53, and 88, 53. Now then I'll go and I'll click the start button here, and you see this time it's running. But I said if you just click the start, because the port numbers are just jumbled up or whatever, it's going to mess up. So just make sure you're fine, and you see there's no conflict, it's running now. To prove to you that it's running, if we go back to images, you see all of them are now running. We have the Vault Warden. So this is Vault Warden. We have Paperless-ngx, and we have our ArtGuard. They're all running now. I'm sure you guys can guess what we're going to do next. Of course, you can create a pod, so they can all communicate with each other. So when you create a pod, you don't need to create a network because they'll be inside their own automatic network. So what I do is I go to containers here, and when I pick the ArtGuard, I pick Paperless, and I pick Vault Warden, and I click create a pod, and then you see it's going to create a pod, and you see it already has, so it asks me for the name for the pod, so I'm just going to call it the privacy pod, because remember this is our home lab. The privacy pod. Now when you create a pod, you're not allowed to leave any spaces, so that's why I had the hyphens in there. So just click create pod, and it's going to create a pod for us. There we go, and it's running. So there we go. So next time, instead of having to start what is it called? Instead of having to start Vault Warden, Paperless-ngx, and then ArtGuard, all I can do is just start and stop my pod, and that's all I need to do. Now, with that said, let's go and check these guys out. So normally I do use what do I use? You know what? I don't want any issues, so I'm going to use Chromium browser here. I'm going to use a Chromium browser. As I said, because I don't want any issues. I know it supports OpenGL and all that stuff, and it's obviously not as whatever security focused as other browsers, so that makes it great for testing. So here I have make sure I put it up here. Yeah, so here we go, the Chromium browser. Okay, Chromium browser. So I'll show you Vault Warden, then I'll show you Paperless-ngx, and I'll show you ArtGuard. So these are all perfectly fine to use. So this is Vault Warden. Vault Warden is a member on port 9000. So you can see here, I can log into Vault Warden. I can either create an account or, and you can tell it's 9000 here. So as I said, you guys can go look at the tutorial on django.com how to use Vault Warden. This tutorial is just to show you how to set up the home lab. So this is not a tutorial on how you use Vault Warden, because I've done several tutorials on that. So the next one is Paperless-ngx. So again, that one is port, the way it's set up, it's on port 8000. So this is paperless, as you can see here. And then the final one is the ArtGuard. That's the most recent one I actually did, and that's port 3000. And there you go. So you see here, you can set up ArtGuard home here, and to get started. So there's you can continue, for example, get started, and just follow the instructions. As I said, I've already done this. You guys saw it before, so I'm not going to do it again. But I'm saying is that there's a dedicated tutorial for that, so I don't want to waste your time. Just if whatever you're interested in, there are other tutorials. I don't want this tutorial to take too long. So that's it. That's your home lab. Now you have your ArtGuard for privacy, and then you have your Paperless-ngx for you can sign documents and all that. I said there's a dedicated tutorial for that on django.com, and of course there's Vault Warden. So this is for your password manager. Yeah, even for example, if you have what do you call it, a crypto wallet, you can store the information in Vault Warden. It actually does allow you, for example, Rumble Wallet does allow you to do that. So the funny thing is, when I installed the Rumble Wallet on my phone, I had literally just the Vault Warden had been stuck around for about a month. And then the day before I installed Rumble, I actually removed it, and then I was like, oh man. So right now I'm using the Samsung Pass, and instead I was like, I wish there was so now I could probably move over to Vault Warden if I wished. But there you go. So that's how you get them. Now, as I said, I'm the only person who shows you how to remove this stuff, and I'll show you as well. So let's say you don't like any of this stuff and you think it's crazy. So all you do is, you see, we're under our pods here, you can simply stop running the pod, click stop, okay, and then you can delete the pod. You can also delete it as well. I'll just click delete. Why is that not working? There we go. Are you sure? Yes. I'll delete the pod. Yeah, so they pull it deleted. Then you go to your containers, and you see we have Vault Warden here, we have Paperless, and we have ArtGuard. Why did it not Paperless? So I click all of them, and then I click, instead of create a pod, I just delete them, confirm. So they're going to be, yeah, see, they're gone, deleted. And then we go back to images, and you can go here, 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 to basically select Vault Warden, select Paperless -ngx, and then select ArtGuard, and then you can go to delete, and it's going to delete all 3 of those images, and then you get back your space. Now, for security reasons, you should also delete this folder. So I'm going to do it on the command line. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to open up the console, and I'll just show you there. I'm going to clean this up. So what I do is just type sudo rm space rf, and it's home lab. So it's going to ask me for my super secure password, and it's gone. You see, I've deleted it. It's gone. You see, home lab should not be here anymore. You see, home lab, it's gone. So that's how you delete. That's how you remove it when you're finished. So I'm gonna close Podman Desktop here now. Go back to the article, and let's finish this up. Okay, so if you want to master the professional stack, I do have some resources. I have books that enhance your technical journey by exploring my exclusive collection of books on Amazon. You can search for Editor Jumbo. The link is also in the description. And then I also have courses for you at ojamboshop.com, which advance your career with high quality structured online learning modules. I'm gonna revamp that soon. I'm just working on a few other things. I don't have time right now. And then I also have I offer one-on-one online tutorials online at ojambo.com/contact. And if you need consultation services to scale your infrastructure, you can get to me at ojamboservices.com/contact. Okay, so privacy is not a luxury for few who can afford it. It's a fundamental right you can reclaim with Podman, and obviously Podman Desktop. Stop letting big tech companies profit from your private habit data. Take control of your digital footprint with this $0 hack. Automation should work for you instead of spying on your family. These tools provide the perfect balance of convenience and total security. Start your deployment today to experience true digital independence and freedom. Your future self will thank you for securing your data now. I also have some other resources. As you saw from idealum.store, I do have this algorithmic serpent. It's a novelette. The author is me, Editor Jumbo. You see, it's about an AI scientist who creates an AI system and loses his mind, so he has to regain control of his mind and the AI system. This is the back. So this is a novelette. It's very affordable. The cost, it's mostly at cost for shipping and printing, and obviously storage for the ebook version. I'll come back to the ebook versions in a few minutes. And my latest, greatest one is the Recession Business Blueprint. That's a guide to help you start a business during a recession. So whether it's finding where you should place your business, is this in your home? Is it should you rent a place? And if you're going to rent a place, how far away should it be from your customers? All of that information could be answered in the Recession Business Blueprint. You can pick it up right now on Amazon. Now. For example, when I started my business, I was living in a condo in downtown Toronto, and I just started in the solarium. It's like half a room. I started there, and there we go. So, what I was going to say is that all my books have ebook versions. So the ebook versions are free if you have Kindle Unlimited, so take advantage of that. I think they let you read it so for free, so go ahead and take advantage of that as well, and let me know what you guys think. Alright, so and then here's my bio. I'll give you a synopsis. I'm a software engineer. I also am an author, and hopefully this year I'll be an influencer. So you can explore my book page on Amazon, and if you need support for consultations, or ojamboservices.com. And the books right now, the learning tutorials are on ojamboshop.com, or self-taught online courses. The comment form here is used. It stays up about 14 days after an article goes live. You're free to post anything about today's topic. We talked about home labs, we talked about AdGuard, Paperless-ngx, and we also talked about Vault Warden. So you can post your comments, tips, and tricks, and all that's perfectly welcome. The best way to contact me is to use the contact forms, or ojambo.com/contact, or ojamboservices.com/contact, and ojamboshop.com/contact. And these are the channels if you want to follow me: Odyssey, Rumble, BitChute, YouTube, Kick, and Twitch. Okay, with that said, I'd like to implore you to subscribe, like, follow, leave comments, and because the more people subscribe, the more viewers are able to see the content, and they can join this growing community. They can post their tips and tricks, or they can post requests, which I'll personally review and I'll share with everyone. I'd like to thank everybody so far who subscribed in the preceding months. Keep it up, and thank you very, very much. Okay, now I'm going to show the outro. Better than Docker. As you guys saw, I'm going to scroll back up to about here. Remind you that if you want to see what's upcoming, you simply go to ojambo.com. You go to watch menu, lifestyle menu. You can see we just finished the secret power of Rootless privacy containers, and tomorrow we're doing something with Vulkan. We're going to test. We're going to have a speed test, and not just a speed test. We're going to test the stability of ROCm on AMD GPUs and Vulkan, and you'll be surprised with the results. And then after that, we'll do something with the Raspberry Pi, and then after that we'll do some interesting AI stuff. I'm not gonna spoil it right now. After that, we're doing something even more fun. I've been reviewing when I was looking for video editors. I decided that the video editors on Linux, especially if you have an AMD GPU, they don't use the AMD GPU, unfortunately, from my tests. But mixing is pretty good, so I'm looking for possible replacements for OBS, because OBS kind of takes up too many resources. I mean, it's a good application, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying that there's other things in case maybe OBS goes a different direction I don't want. So showing you some of this. This is a video mixer. It's called Lives, and with FFmpeg, obviously you can use it with OBS, or you can simply just stream live. For example, when I do my multi-streaming, I just use FFmpeg. So Lives might be an alternative for you guys. All right, and then as I promised, I also made sure there will be at least 5 articles for the time being. So there we go. Okay, now I am going to check the live chat. I don't see. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm gonna get rid of this spam here. Yeah, there we go. It's gone, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern. Bye now.